NTV, it's the sports segment this Friday morning, and it's quite unique from the usual update that I give you, or that I present Monday to Friday, and that usually comes at 7:20 a.m. This one has come in a little late, and that's the reason why I'm referring to it as a unique sports update. This morning, I'm Elvis Seneno, as usual, to take you through some of the major events happening in the world of sport. We know that the Stanbic Uganda Cup continues, and we had a couple of games in the round of 64 stage yesterday, but some comical scenes happening from last evening because there was a breakdown in communication, and a couple of teams could not eventually play their respective games in the Stanbic Uganda Cup last evening, and we wait to see eventually how that will be sorted. But Bushenyi veterans were supposed to play on Duparaka. Duparaka did not make the trip. They had reportedly asked for more time to be able to make the trip to Bushenyi from Arua, and looks like Bushenyi veterans might get that walkover and proceed to the round of 32. And the Soroti Thunders were supposed to play Blacks Power, and the miscommunication that happened during what was supposed to be the game played yesterday saw Soroti Thunder go to a different ground from that the visitors went to, as well as the match officials. So the match officials and the visiting team were at a different ground, and their supposed hosts, Soroti Thunders, were also at a different ground. That's how the events in the Stanbic Uganda Cup unfolded, unfortunately, yesterday. But the biggest news this week continues to be the draws made by CAF for the Championship of African Nations, or the CHAN tournament, and it was postponed to August, but the draws were conducted on Wednesday evening, and we wait to see how that tournament also, or how the preparations unfold as we head into August. This was the second postponement of the tournament. So so many sporting stories to report about, including some basketball news, and the fight for the teams to get promoted to the National Basketball League continues later today as well. Already we know that the Victoria team, the team from Victoria University, will return to the National Basketball League for the first time since 2022, when they were relegated following their 3-0 series triumph over the UMU Flames. And last evening, in the World Cup qualifiers for the national under-17 team, the Tin Cranes, they recorded a 10-0 emphatic victory that was against Namibia in the first leg of the first round World Cup qualifiers. And elsewhere, in the first Grand Slam tournament of the year, which is the Australian Open, it continues with not many upsets happening. The top seed Yannick Sinner are progressing at the moment. Carlos Alcaraz, the player who accounted for 2 of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments last year, is on court at the moment, and had won the opening 2 sets of his third round match rather, at the Australian Open, and that game is currently on at the moment. And in the English Premier League, the biggest game to report about from last evening was the 3-1 triumph for Manchester United over the bottom side Southampton, with Amad Diallo scoring a hat-trick for the team coached by Ruben Amorim at the moment. But I'll return later in the day to give you all the details regarding the major events making headlines in the world of sport. But this morning, our focus is on a sport called Padel tennis. Quite different from what I was talking about with the Australian Open, but still it is tennis to report about, and we're going to try and break down for the uninitiated the game of Padel tennis that is this morning. And I have a guest, Henrik Andersen, who is strict with this pronunciation of the name, who joins us as you try to break down the game of Padel tennis. And I have a racket with me this morning. This is the racket that is used to play that game of Padel tennis, and it's been introduced in Uganda by Henrik Andersen. Very good morning to you, first of all, and thank you for joining us at Morning at NTV this morning.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me.
Okay, quickly, to take us through the game.
Yes.
we start with its origin. Where did the game originate from, and how is it played?
Yeah, the game originated from Mexico, but Spain is the country that has developed the game the most. In Spain there are 4 million people playing. The game is a combination of tennis and squash. It's the world's fastest growing racket sport, and the reason it is that it's very easy to play. If you have long tennis, it'll take you 3 to 6 months to learn to volley 10 times back and forth. In Padel, you can do it in 1 to 2 hours. And then people are having fun, really enjoying it. It's a very social game, and you get some exercise. That's why it has become so popular.
So, why did you decide to bring the game to Uganda? What was the thinking behind?
Well, I met a beautiful lady from Uganda, my fiance, and we looked at what possibilities do we have. And then I started playing paddle tennis. We were in Mauritius at the time, and then I came up with the idea. She wanted to do share butter. Then we moved back to Uganda. She set up her share butter production, and I started my paddle center.
So, what steps have you been able to make over the time since you, first of all, when did you introduce the game in Uganda, and what have you achieved so far in your journey in trying to make the sport popular in the country?
Yes, we had a soft opening in 26th of July last year. And now we are having the grand opening tomorrow, where Africa Band is coming. We are inviting all our fans and supporters. The tickets are only 10,000, including a drink, to see Africa Band. So now we have established it. We have a good base of players that are playing, but now we want to engage more players. And the picture has been that many of them has been expats, foreigners who knew the game from their homeland, but now we see a lot of Ugandans come and play, and that really that really makes me happy.
And one of the reasons how you can make the sport popular is by ensuring that it is officially recognized as a sport in Uganda. What steps have you taken to ensure that the game of Padel tennis is officially recognized as one of the sporting disciplines that the National Council of Sport considers?
Yes, I had a meeting with them, and the challenge is that right now the rule states that in order to be an association you have to be present in half of the states. I believe that's
half of the districts.
Half of the districts, yes, thank you. And I think that's more than 60. And because paddle tennis is very expensive to establish, it's not, in the short run, it's not possible to get the presence in so many districts. So I hope when the sport gets more popular that we can somehow change those rules or get an exemption or something. But we first need to show that people actually like to play, and that's what we are doing now.
So maybe you quickly break down how again is the game played for those that might be interested this morning in our conversation.
Yeah. It starts with a serve like in tennis. It follows the same rules as in tennis, as suppose when you count the points. Your serve is diagonally. When you serve, your ball has to hit the turf, and then you are started. Whenever you play back, the ball also have to hit the opponent's turf. And that's about it. Then there is a mesh and a wall, and you can hit both after you touch the turf of your opponent. You can even hit it out of the court.
So, where, if one is interested, where is the game played?
The game is played in Zambia, just across from Sharing Hall, Sharing Youth
Center.
Yeah, up from Arena Mall. And tomorrow, during our grand opening, it's free to play. We invite everybody to come and play. The entrance is the 10,000, where you get a drink, an Africa Band, a concert, and then there's free paddle games, there's free show games, and a lot of activities during the day.
Then how do you intend to make the sport even more popular in the country? What steps are you taking to ensure that you get even more numbers? Because before we came on air, we were having that discussion about how fast the sport is growing of Padel tennis, but it's relatively unheard of in Uganda.
Yeah,
I must admit.
And a lot of the work we are doing to get people to know that the game exists is talking to medias like you, and thank you for the help. So it's very important to bring out the word that it exists, because if you look at Uganda, running in the streets is not so healthy. Biking is also a little bit risky. Then when you have as much grey hair as I have, football is not good for your legs. And then there is golf, or not so many other alternatives, and this is a fantastic alternative. No injuries, you can play from 6 till you are like 80 or whatever. So it's a game for the whole family.
So basically, could I say that you are targeting the middle class?
Yeah.
Or with the working class of Ugandans?
Yeah, we have a price policy that says that it should cost the same for a person to play as it costs to order a pizza. To play for 1 hour as it costs to order a pizza. Right now it costs 25,000 for one person to play.
And what's the duration? When you pay that 25,000 at the Arena Mall?
The 25,000 goes for 1 hour. We have many players who plays 1 hour or 1.5 hours to get a proper workout. But 1 hour for beginners is very long time.
Very long time. So what gives you the conviction that the sport can be a success in Uganda, considering that largely, by and large, Uganda is a football mad country? Maybe the other popular sports disciplines, motor racing or rallying, basketball, rugby, and pool, the very popular sports disciplines.
Yeah.
And what's the direction that you want to take as Padel tennis in Uganda?
Before setting the center up here in Uganda, I did my research. The reason why it's so popular, when you ask all the players who plays Padel today, 70% says it's fun, 60% says it's because they want to socialize, and 45% says it's because of exercise. Then I looked at Uganda, and people here really wants to have fun.
Where was that research done? Like maybe you could be giving us statistics about European countries or Mexico, where the game or the sport originated from.
Yes, these numbers are from there. And then I took and said, okay, is fun, socialize and exercise interesting for Ugandans? And I've been coming here for 20 years. Yeah, I was here the first time in 2002. Then I've been coming here every 3 years since. Then I met my fiance. Then I came a little more often. Yeah. But Ugandans really love to have fun. And if we look at the neighboring country, Kenya, I just looked it up before I came in. In October 2022, they installed the first courts. And today Kenya has 200 courts. Right now in Uganda we have 6. We have established 4 courts, and then there are 2 courts up in Bukutu.
What are your immediate targets as Padel tennis in Uganda? Where do you see the sport moving 3 to 5 years from now?
3 to 5 years from now. It's impossible to say, because we saw that in Kenya it has like boomed crazy. They have 200 courts after 2.5 years. It's impossible to say if it'll catch the same flame here, but it'll definitely be a popular game in 3 to 5 years. And I'm sure that we will have the association in 3 to 5 years. Dr. Orwell.
Okay, thank you, Henrik, for joining us this morning. Unless you have some final remarks that you'd want our viewers to get to know.
Yes, I really hope to see all of you at the grand opening tomorrow. Anita Evelyn will open the grand opening, and then we have Africo Band coming on at 6 o'clock and play from 6 to 7, and then again from 9 to 10. And we're going to have a lot of activities and a lot of fun all day. So I hope to see you there. And always pass by the center. If you're new, we'll let you play for 10-15 minutes for free.
Okay, that is at the Arena Mall in Zambia.
Yeah, across from Sharing Hall.
Opposite Sharing Hall in Zambia. For those that usually use that route to Gaba, that is an area that you're definitely well acquainted with. That's pretty much what's happening, or what we expect to happen this weekend. Like Enrique has told you, the grand opening of the Padel tennis tournament will be tomorrow, that is at the Arena Mall, and also return later in the day at 1:30 p.m. on Muligwe Mizanyo to take you through the other major events happening in the world of sport. Keep it morning at NTV for the best programming this morning.